Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is Mitch. Good Wednesday morning to you all. Hope you guys are feeling great out there this morning and having a wonderful start to your day and a great week out there so far. We got some things to speak on in this morning's video, and we'll do what we've been doing over the last several mornings, and that is work sort of back to front. So we will speak on what's to come this weekend, as there's still some big question marks for the Northeast, Southern New England. This is very close to being a winter storm for certain areas. So we're going to speak on this, talk about how close. This video will be kind of weird. Things will be sectioned out everywhere, but there will be timestamps up everywhere throughout the video. So you guys will be able to find what you're looking for in this video. Just kind of search throughout. For example, we're going to cover the big question mark with this winter storm in the Northeast, even sections of the Mid-Atlantic. We're going to have a section for the event that's going to scoot across the upper Midwest, the Great Lakes region over the next 48 hours. It's going to deliver a swath of pretty heavy snow. Some areas will see their most snow they've seen so far this winter with this event. And then, of course, we'll cover some things in today's forecast. So it'll be kind of everywhere, but you'll be able to find what you're looking for in this video. So just search it out timestamp-wise. I got you covered. So we'll cover everything. If you guys have not subscribed, certainly consider doing that. Like the video if you like it. And if anybody has anything that I can pray about or pray over, please put it in the comments below. It gives me an opportunity to pray over it, and it gives others an opportunity to do so too. So let's get rocking and rolling this morning. So the first thing we'll go over is the latest GFS and Euro model. And we'll take a broad look at everything for the eastern U.S., and then we'll zoom into the Northeast. All right, so we're going to kind of make our way through this pretty fast, and then we'll slow it down when we'll zoom into individual areas. So latest GFS model from this morning. This is starting off tomorrow morning. So we are going to have an event over the next 24 hours, 36 hours or so for the interior sections of the Northeast and even areas of the Ohio Valley that I will speak on more heavily on today's forecast, that portion of the video. Okay, but we're moving past that. Remember, we're working back to front. We'll continue to move into our Thursday evening. Here comes a clipper that's going to deliver some heavy snowfall accumulations for certain areas of the upper Midwest, the Northern Plains, all the way to the Great Lakes region. That'll swing through. This connects with some energy off the coastline, and there's a little bit of some phasing, but it's a little too late. So we'll take it to Friday afternoon. We got a lot of snow showers across the areas of the Midwest, the Ohio Valley, lower Michigan. This light blue showing up. That is just the snow showers or just light snow, even bursts of moderate to heavy snow maybe. But watch what happens here. We're going to get two things going on here. Well, really three things, I would say. We're going to get a northwest flow event that gets cranking here across the mountains of the central and southern Alps. I mean, snow as far south as the Smokies. Certainly could be at least a moderate snow event for the higher elevations of like West Virginia. You guys have gotten a lot of northwest flow snow events so far this winter. I definitely think this will deliver a festive Friday night across Ohio, maybe even eastern Kentucky. Look at this light snow. This is kind of the second area to watch. Light snow, maybe moderate snow developing. And then you got the coastal low that's going to try to deliver a swath of snow for extreme southeastern sections of southern New England. You see it cranking up right here. We're going to zoom into this here in a second. And we kind of have this inverted trough looking thing right when the energy's pulling out. And, I'll take some time to explain what that is when we have a little bit more time. But basically this pulling mechanism, this energy kind of pulls through, and we have to watch this little area right here that could deliver some additional snowfall totals. And we'll move past that, and then there's another area of energy that sort of whips on through, but it just doesn't do anything. In fact, you don't really even see it reflecting to the surface down here at all. It's a trailing wave at the tail end of this pattern, and just once upon a time was showing a beautiful, magical winter storm for the Southeast, and it hasn't been for the last few days now. So unfortunately, it does not look like we're going to get our miracle Christmas snow here in the Southeast, but we are watching another system that creeps up on us Christmas Eve. So Christmas Eve evening, if you will, you could have another burst of snow for the Great Lakes region. And then, this has been showing up over the last day or two. Christmas Eve morning, we started to get some snow breaking out across PA, moving across New York, and we could have some good old-fashioned Christmas Eve snow across areas of the Northeast. And this makes it all the way to southern New England Christmas morning. Look at the snow falling almost as far south as New York City. It's showing up for northern New Jersey. We got snow falling, across Boston. And this is an event we have to watch. Is there enough cold air still hanging around from that Arctic air mass to deliver one last blast of winter weather before the pattern flips to much warmer between Christmas Day and New Year's? That's a big question mark. We're watching this event. This could be something that kind of creeps up on us. The European, same thing. Here comes that energy diving through. Northwest flow snow. Then you got it kind of just the energy here in the form of snow. And then we got this coastal low trying to develop here. It just does not quite do it. But there's that inverted trough look right here. And then it pulls on out, okay? And then we kind of get closer to Christmas. And here's that same system the GFS is showing. That same system makes it all the way to Christmas Eve morning, all the way to PA, New York. And then it does kind of the same thing as the GFS does. Delivers a little bit of snow Christmas Eve night into Christmas morning. Even a little bit of ice showing up as far south as Maryland, northern VA. In fact, if we keep this run going, I mean, look at this. A little wintry mix Christmas morning across southern PA. I mean, this is ice, though. That pink is ice. Orange is sleet. Just some interesting things we need to watch for sure. So let's go on and just have a special zoom-in session with the Northeast New England, for example. So closer look at it. Here we go. All right. We're getting into Friday evening. Low pressure developing. Light snow breaking out across southeast Mass, Cape Cod, Martha's Vineyard, Nantucket. Snow breaking out. We got a little bit of connection with the coastal low and the actual energy embedded with the trough here. And this just vort, if you will. This is light, moderate snow, just a festive snow Friday evening across the state of New York, northern New Jersey, PA. We got the northwest flow snow down here that we already broke down just a second ago. And we keep this going. And look at this. Look how close this is. This is in the wee hours of the morning, this coming Saturday morning. Just an all-out major winter storm right off the coastline of Cape Cod. In fact, it's close enough for Cape Cod, Martha's Vineyard, Nantucket to get a swath of heavy snowfall accumulation. And I mean, it's close enough to the down east areas of Maine to bring a little bit of light to moderate snow. And then we have this little section of light to moderate snow right into here in New York, down to New Jersey. A little bit of an inverted trough look. This could bring a surprise snow event down into New Jersey, down to New York City, as we're getting into the late night hours of Friday into Saturday morning. Hangs around with us. Dang, it is so close to being a big winter storm for Boston, but it's just not close enough on the latest model guidance. Still got that inverted trough look, just some light snow wrapping back down, and this could deliver some light snowfall accumulations all the way down to New York City, Long Island, I think, into Saturday afternoon. I mean, and then, could this leftover energy slide into southern New England? It's very possible, guys. We just have to watch this look. Very interesting look here. And I just think that this is something that could sneak up on us. Okay, and then we look at the Euro, and let's look at the latest Euro. I think the 06Z is out now. So I think, hopefully, throughout the entire run. Same thing, we get close, see if we've had a little bit of a bump trend northwest, if you will. Same thing, we get into Friday evening, we got festive flurries flying around everywhere across the Northeast. We get a little bit closer. What is that coastal low going to do? There's that light to moderate snow for that inverted trough look here across, eastern PA, New Jersey, the entire state of New York. Really just looks to get just light snow throughout almost throughout the entire weekend. And the latest Euro just is not close enough. It doesn't even, in fact, it wants to keep it all rain for southeast New England. But it does try to slide some snow showers into the area Saturday afternoon. But it's just not as close as the GFS. Now, what about, we can show you, and I'm just going to do this on the fly. We can show you the Canadian run. The Canadian, same thing. It's close. But it actually is just too warm for sections of like southeast Mass. But it does start to bring basically the furthest northwest section of that precipitation band, if you will, all the way into Boston. In fact, some heavy snow starts to break out west of Boston. It's just so close, but still not quite there. And then there's that inverted trough look, just some light to moderate snow breaking out throughout the rest of the weekend. So, at the end of the day, this is from the event for what happens over the next 36 hours. We'll speak more on that here in a second. That moves through. Remember, this is in 24-hour periods, so you're going to see that snow kind of disappear and probably reappear here in a second. Then we get in the Friday morning, snow signal disappears, and then it begins to grow somewhat as we're getting into Friday afternoon. This is because the light to moderate snow breaking out with the energy. You can see it well here, guys. There's that northwest flow snow down here in West Virginia. Here's kind of the snow from just the energy associated with this trough digging down, the inverted trough, whatever you want to call it. And then there's that coastal low signal here. You see how there's a different signal right here, a little bit of a higher bump up here compared to this. So, and then there's something like right in the middle where there isn't a whole lot at all. Okay, this is almost a sure bet to happen. We're going to get a couple inches of light snow accumulations, I think, here in New York, maybe even PA. I mean, I think there's a chance all the way down to New York City. And then there's that coastal low signal. See, you get a bump up to almost a 2-inch snowfall mean in the far southeast end of, just out in Cape Cod. There's that signal here in New York State. It's close, just not really close enough to really, I would guess, spike any more confidence than what we are right now in something like this happening. So it's an interesting signal for sure. And there it is, just a quick loop here. And you can see that little light snowfall signal all the way through Long Island, all the way even to Delaware. So, next thing we'll look at here is the Euro ensemble, which I don't know. Yeah, we don't have it all the way through. So we're going to have to look at the OOZ. Here comes that first little round of snow over the next 36 hours. That disappears. And then once again, here's the Euro ensemble. There's the energy embedded in the trough, inverted trough look, and then here's that little bit of a coastal low signal. It's just not as high. There's a little bit more of a connection here on the Euro. This is getting into Saturday. It just a little spike here around Boston, southeast Mass. All of southern New England, Connecticut, Rhode Island, Long Island. Just a light snowfall signal, but just nothing substantial, really at all. But I really think this could change in a hurry. But at the end of the day, this was the morning run back on the 15th. So when was that? What's the date? The 18th. So that was Sunday morning. So this was what it was showing Sunday morning for the time frame of, this is like 1 o'clock in the morning, Saturday morning. Okay. Now we go all the way to the run right now. Watch. Bang, bang. Here we go. Watch how just more precipitation starts to show up. And it goes all the way to what we are right now. So, in general, this time frame has definitely upticked with just more activity, more snow. But that's the thing, man, is there is just a bomb of snow right off the coastline of Maine, New Hampshire, and southern New England. That is huge snowfall totals if that could just continue to work its way another 100 miles west. It's so close, just not close enough. So, moving forward here, if we look at the snowfall signal as a whole, just between now and, let's just take this all the way until now and the afternoon of Christmas. You can see the northwest flow event, the interior northeast and New England event, and then there's that coastal low signal, and then there's the signal we're going to break down more detailed manner when we get to the Wednesday's forecast portion of the video. We're kind of extending into Thursday, but if you live in the Great Lakes region, Wisconsin, Minnesota, you're definitely going to get a nice snow event right here before Christmas. There is a signal for snow all the way down to the southern Alps in North Carolina, Tennessee, and then here is a look at the Euro ensemble. I'm gonna have to switch it to this. Go to that. And this is what it looks like through Christmas on this. So about the same. Not a whole lot different. Really isn't. So I do want to give some love to my folks here in Atlantic Canada, Nova Scotia, Newfoundland, New Brunswick. This could be a big storm system for you guys. So we'll start off Friday morning. Look at the latest GFS, and here it comes. Heavy wintry mix of precipitation for Nova Scotia. It could start out as very heavy snow. Remember, typically a near miss for New England is a big hit for Nova Scotia. And just because Nova Scotia is just a little bit further north and east of southern New England. So we're getting a big winter storm moving into Nova Scotia probably sometime in the middle of the night, Friday night into Saturday morning. A winter weather event moving into Newfoundland. Could start out as a little bit of ice in southeast sections of Newfoundland. And then look how this snow is switching to just a wintry mix of precipitation. This orange would be sleet, but it could be a wintry mix of anything. Look at the heavy snow making it all the way into Prince Edward Island. And then some of these areas that'll be heavy snow at first could switch, like I said, to just that sleet, maybe even freezing rain mixture. Look at the icing situation in southern Newfoundland. And then we keep this going, and some of the snow makes it all the way into sections of New Brunswick. And in some of these areas could switch to rain. But look at that big-time icing event Saturday afternoon in central Newfoundland. Just could be a whopper of a winter storm for sure. But some of these areas could switch to rain, especially in Newfoundland, as the low pressure looks to cut kind of almost between like Cape Breton Island and Newfoundland. So we could switch to just good old-fashioned rain here in southeast sections of Newfoundland. But this is a powerful low, 978 low based off the GFS, and then it pulls on out some cold air, makes its way through. And, you look at the latest Euro run. Let's see if there's any differences here. Starts off as all snow for Nova Scotia, Cape Breton Island, and Prince Edward Island. It actually starts out as snow for the majority of Newfoundland. This continues, stays mainly winter precipitation across especially central to eastern Nova Scotia, central to western Nova Scotia. This would be a big hit for like Prince Edward Island. But switch to rain, and Avalon Peninsula is being a big ice event, continues to show up for central Newfoundland. And man, that is a nasty ice event. But same thing, 974, 970s low going right over the western sections of Newfoundland based off this, and then it moves on out. So this will be just a weekend thing. But snowfall between now and Christmas morning, that morning of the 25th, this is in centimeters, but strong signal for snow in areas of Cape Breton Island and Prince Edward Island. I would say that's some of the strongest signals, but you got a strong signal also even for the rest of Nova Scotia. And, like eastern New Brunswick definitely has a strong signal here. And then the northern half of Newfoundland, man, that is a heavy signal here of snow, anywhere from 25 to as much as 50 centimeters of snow. And, back here in Cape Breton Island, Prince Edward Island, you guys, anywhere from maybe 20 to as much as 30 centimeters of snow. If we look at inches, I like looking at this. I mean, scattered 10 to 20-inch snowfall amounts. Okay, so definitely the potential for a big winter storm up here for sure. So moving forward and looking at today's forecast, across the lower 48, we have this line of thunderstorms moving across Arkansas, western Tennessee, western and central Kentucky, just pretty much just rain across Ohio, but we're getting a little bit of a wintry mix. It looks like maybe in northeast Ohio, wintry mix up here maybe, and lower Michigan. Let me know what you're seeing. Some moisture just off the coastline of Florida, Georgia, and the Carolinas. This line of storms does stretch all the way to northeast Texas, and we got a lot of moisture surging into the Pacific Northwest, and we got the beginnings of a system in Montana that will bring a swath of snow across the northern terrain of the lower 48. This is what's going on right now. Watches, warnings, and advisories. We got, and it's kind of this turquoise bluish color. Those are just special weather statements. But I do want to zoom into this area up here. We do have winter storm watches up. These will get upgraded to warnings. I wouldn't be surprised if somebody upgrades to a blizzard warning up here for strong winds, especially kind of on this end of the watches here. But this is just winter weather advisories down here to Bismarck. But Grand Forks, Fargo, winter storm watches, Minot. We do have some winter weather advisories in the northeast corner of Montana. Just special weather statements across like Minneapolis down to Eau Claire, St. Cloud, up here to northeast sections of Minnesota. But we do have winter storm watches up for Duluth and spanning up the western coastline of Lake Superior. I do think what minimum get winter weather advisories all the way down to Minneapolis. I really do. See what happens. But we do have winter storm watches up for Green Bay. And I do think we'll get some winter weather advisories extending all the way down to maybe like southern Wisconsin over the coming hours and day or so. So winter weather advisories are up for sections of the UP of Michigan too. So zooming back out, surprisingly, we don't have any advisories up for the Northeast for this quick hitting winter weather event that'll move in that we've been talking about for a while. I think that'll change. I really do, but we'll see what happens here. Just some special weather statements up here in Maine, but we do have those winter weather advisories, winter storm warnings in the pink right here up for areas of the northern Rockies and the Pacific Northwest. As far as excessive rainfall, I mean, there is a 5% risk of that here in Kentucky and Tennessee and southeast Florida, but not a big deal expected from this. But we do have a risk of severe weather today, and this is really for what's going on right now. Nashville, watch out over to Knoxville over the next several hours. We have this line of storms moving through, and this could produce a quick spin up. There is a 2% risk of a tornado within 25 miles of any given location. But it is a pretty large area that could see some thunderstorms today, even though as far north as West Virginia, back over to Virginia, the Carolinas, all the way down to Florida today, all the way back to Texas, a risk of thunderstorms is possible. But taking a look at what the radar could look like, those storms are making its way through Tennessee, Kentucky, maybe some rumbles of thunder up here in West Virginia. I think these storms will lose some steam as they get closer to Alabama, the Cumberland Plateau, and just the apps here. And then we could get some redevelopment of some thunderstorms maybe in Georgia. Up here to my neck of the woods here in Columbia, South Carolina, some thunderstorms are possible to likely down here in southern areas of Florida. And just a very warm, moist air mass for, mid-December standards, I would say. Just isolated thunderstorms are possible, really anywhere across the southeast today. Some cold air will kind of funnel in behind this. We could get some thunderstorms overnight from, Charleston all the way up into the northern sections of the Outer Banks. Some thunderstorms are possible to likely after midnight tonight. Could wake up to some boomers, some December thunderstorms. So, but up here in the northeast, quiet start to your morning, but precipitation will surge in the form of some snow in west sections of PA, the western sections of the southern tier of New York. Could just be a wintry mix. Could be mainly cold rain across the lower elevated regions of New York and PA. But the Adirondacks could get a light to moderate snowfall event from this. But the valley areas will stay all rain from this event. More than likely, the Catskills could switch to some heavy wet snow. Even the Poconos has the potential for this. But you can really tell how this is really a warm system. The snow will be confined to those higher elevated regions. 500,000 feet makes a huge difference. But this low will continue to scoot on through. This will deliver some rain for you folks this evening across the I-95 corridor. No winter weather expected from this. And then some light to moderate snow up here in the northern half of Maine. And then we'll have just some back-end energy that will funnel through. So after midnight tonight, some snow showers. Burst of heavy snow is possible from Erie all the way up into Watertown, the Tuck Plateau, southern Ontario. Same thing. And we could be dealing with just some leftover snow showers up here in the Adirondacks and northern Vermont. So snowfall between now and the next 48 hours, pretty much next 24. Few to maybe as much as several inches of snow in northern Maine. I would say in general, 2 to 4 inches of snow is the general thing. Bangor, only about a half an inch. Down east areas of Maine, no snow out of this. Lewiston, 3 to 4 inches of snow. And the reason I don't have the other graphics pulled up from the National Weather Service, because for whatever reason, they're combining this event with the possible event coming up this weekend. And it just caused me a lot of confusion. So I just thought I would pull up Pivotal Weather. But a few to maybe several inches of snow in those higher elevated regions in Vermont, New Hampshire. Just depends on your elevation, guys. Rutland, inch and a half. And, we go a little bit deeper down here in New York. Tuck Plateau. Those colors right there are probably for about 3 to maybe as much as 5 inches of snow. But Syracuse, dusting. Buffalo, same thing. Jamestown, a couple inches of snow. Adirondacks, a few inches of snow. And just don't expect a whole lot out of this event, really. And we do kind of make our way down into Ohio and just dusting amounts. Not expecting a whole lot from this at all, guys. So the south central U.S. will continue to deal with this morning showers and storms with this cold front. This will drape down all the way into Houston, Corpus Christi. You guys will, get some thunderstorm potential this afternoon. I wouldn't expect a lot down here in central Louisiana. Maybe some thunderstorms will make it through this afternoon, and these can make it all the way to the Bayou of Louisiana this evening in the form of just some light rain showers. After that, quieter conditions. I wouldn't expect a whole lot. Now, up here in the north central U.S., now we'll spend some time here. We do have an event ongoing. Well, not ongoing. It's going to be ongoing by the time we get into this time tomorrow morning. We do have some lake effect energy firing off Lake Superior, bringing some light to moderate snow. Some areas could be seeing some heavy snow throughout the afternoon and evening hours. You guys will just get a few inches of snow up here at least, and just scattered snow showers across lower Michigan, some mood flakes, if you will, some festive flakes across lower Michigan today. Quite literally just scattered about. And then we'll back this up a little bit. And this is the big show right here, I would say. As we're getting into this afternoon, moderate to heavy snow will overspread a good chunk of North Dakota. Now, there will be some warm air advection here in southwest and even western sections of North Dakota. This will keep you guys more so some freezing rain for certain areas, but this swath of heavy snow will continue to overspread into eastern North Dakota. A little bit of snow in northeastern sections of South Dakota. And by the time we're getting into the middle of the night, wee hours of the morning, tonight to tomorrow morning, we got this swath of moderate to heavy snow making it all the way down to Minneapolis, right over sections of Minnesota. Heavy snow back here in northeast and northern North Dakota. We continue to move forward here. We take it all the way to tomorrow morning. And you see these darker shades of blue, folks. This could be some heavy snow. Typically, when you have a low pressure taking this track, this is bringing a lot of warm air aloft. So even though this is snow falling at pretty warm temperatures that you guys are probably used to in winter, this is some heavy, wet snow. So the rates will probably be pretty high. And with the push of cold air to follow, it'll refreeze pretty quick. But tomorrow morning, waking up to some moderate to heavy snow across the northern half of Wisconsin, starting to move into the western UP, snowing pretty hard in the northern sections of Minnesota. And how far south does the extension of this snow make it down here in southern sections of Wisconsin? This does bring some heavy snow tomorrow morning all the way to Milwaukee, maybe Janesville, certainly in Green Bay. And it brings some heavy snow tomorrow afternoon across the UP of Michigan. This will be more of a wet snow for sure. And then this will last. And then we'll have to watch for any kind of snow that develops late tomorrow night in southern sections of Wisconsin, maybe northern Illinois. That could bring a little bit of light snow all the way down into Chicago. But snowfall between now and pretty much this entire event, this takes us through 6 p.m. Central Time Thursday. Several inches of snow. Minot 4 to 6, Harvey 4 to 6, Devils Lake 5 to 7, Grand Forks 4 to 7, Fargo 4 to 6 inches of snow, Jamestown 3 to 5, Bismarck a trace to 2 inches, Crosby 4 to 6 inches of snow. We do, show some love to South Dakota, but just a couple inches of snow looks to be the general theme in the eastern to really northeastern portion of the state. Not a lot here. Now we look at Minnesota. This is going to be a decent event. Now, for you guys' standards, you probably wouldn't consider it a decent event. But, they're going for about 3 to 5 inches of snow in the Minneapolis-St. Paul region. 4 to 6 up in St. Cloud. Hinckley, 4 to 7. Duluth, 5 to 8. If you're up against Lake Superior, then you get that little bit of an enhancement. But Grand Rapids 3 to 5, Detroit Lakes 3 to 5 inches of snow, Alexandria 3 to 5, and Rochester maybe 2 to 4 inches. Some of this could tweak one way or the other. We'll have to watch, but this is what it's looking like for Minnesota. And then Wisconsin, Superior 4 to 6, Hayward 3 to 5, Park Falls 3 to 6, Hurley 4 to 8, Ashland 4 to 7. And they're going for 3 to 6 inches of snow in Milwaukee. So that tells me that they don't necessarily agree with some of this model guidance. Eau Claire going for 4 to 6. So they're going for some higher amounts, 4 to 8 in Green Bay. So this is going to be a pretty decent event for you folks. But, Janesville 2 to 3. So definitely some, I would say, mood setters out here in Wisconsin for sure. As far as, if you like the snow mixed with the holidays. And, I have to pull up this graphic because they didn't have a great graphic up for the UP of Michigan. They were only showing today's event. But between the lake effect snow today and what moves in between now and Friday morning, a few to several inches, excuse me, a few to several inches of snow across the UP of Michigan. This could actually be an event where southern sections of the UP of Michigan get more snow than maybe areas that typically get more off the lake effect snow areas. But I would say in general, anywhere from 3 to as much as 8 to 9 inches of snow as possible in certain sections of the UP of Michigan. And then we head on down to lower Michigan. And between now and 1 p.m. Friday, I would say anywhere from 1 to as much as 4 inches of snow as possible for really anybody across lower Michigan. Detroit 1 to 2, Grand Rapids 3 to 4, Kalamazoo looks like they're going for 233 inches. I'm just kidding. Looks like there's a little number glitch down here. 2 to 3, Lansing 2 to 4 inches of snow. So that's what it's looking like for you folks. Now, I will tell you, there could be some blizzard warnings issued in sections of North Dakota today. I wouldn't be surprised one bit, but this is peak wind gusts between now and the next 24 hours. I mean, in areas of Montana, western, southwestern, North Dakota, northwestern, South Dakota, anywhere from 50 to 60 mile per hour wind gusts are possible. Very strong winds all the way down to Wyoming. So definitely be expecting that. Now, conditions out west, there's a little bit of snow that will impact, could be quite heavy, will impact northeast sections of Montana. And one thing I totally forgot to mention for North Dakota, and unfortunately, well, they're not really calling for much of anything, so never mind. I would say there's a little bit of ice potential with this too. But anyways, let's go back to what we were. Once we get past the precipitation this morning to early this afternoon, we're pretty much done for the most of the western U.S., except that event I just broke down for the northern plains and the north central U.S., but it mainly looks pretty chill over the next 24 hours for the western U.S. These are temperatures. Another warm day across the deep south. It had like 75 degrees in my house here in Columbia, South Carolina yesterday. It felt like 85. It just feels so much warmer in the winter compared to the summer. 85 degrees in the summer here in South Carolina is cool. But a chilly day in the Northeast, but nothing too crazy. 30s across the Midwest and Ohio Valley. Once you start to get into Iowa and northern Illinois, you start to get locked in below freezing. So definitely colder conditions here. And then, southern Texas and Florida, certainly the warm spots well into the 80s here. And then temperatures out west, definitely warm. Definitely some warm air for sure. That's all I got, guys. Thank y'all for tuning in. God bless all y'all. And hey, I do want to thank y'all. I haven't made a personal video so far this month, and I probably will get to it at some point. But I do want to thank y'all for the support in the month of December. There's been some weird changes with YouTube. I'll just leave it at that. And there's good changes. Hopefully they stick. But had a lot of growth. Just steady views, I would say, in December. Not subscriber growth really, but just steady views. I don't know. I feel like my approach to YouTube has changed a little bit. I think that there's been times in the past where I felt like I just want to rush the growth. I want to do this, that, and the other. I want to set all these goals up, but I really think what I've realized over the last few months, which has been a little bit of a valley personally for me with what happened with YouTube, what's happened with a couple of things. I think I've learned a lot from it, and I think I've just realized that, I am where I am at for a reason. You know what I'm saying? It's like there's no point in trying to rush to make YouTube any bigger than what it is right now, because I have so many other priorities: my family, my little girls, my wife, my church, my friends, and everything. So, I think I've just kind of steadily became content with where things are with my YouTube right now. Now, that doesn't mean I'm not going to make changes and upgrade some things, because I am. I got plans for 2025, but I would say the pressure is off now, and that feels good. So just wanted to share that with you guys. But thank you for the growth. Thank you for the people continuing to tune in and making me part of your daily life. God bless all y'all. Have a wonderful day, and I'll talk to you again in the morning.